Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Disconnect to Connect, one word conversations. Well, it feels like it's been a while since I've been doing these shows. It's only been like a couple days, but it's interesting how I'm out of the routine of it. One Word Conversation is brought to you by IamWilliamBrown.com, a place where you can be yourself and live your life. One way that I spotlight what is available at IamWilliamBrown.com is to use our U cards. And our U cards are intention setting cards, and I use it to set the intention for this conversation. My I am card is I am brave. As I say, I typically am very concerned about the I am brave card because usually there is a moment where I need to be brave. So something I need to worry about. You are worthy is my you are card. And the quote card for this conversation is be you, do you, for you. So with that in mind, I am going to introduce our word. And our word is discord. And the word has been coming up for me for a number of reasons within our society and within myself. And so as I do, I invite in a guest and we have a conversation.
Hi, Phil.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I am doing great. Now, this is the moment where I invite my guests to introduce themselves however it feels comfortable to them.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. My name is Ann Hancock. I make a living as a therapist. I specialize in seeing couples. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm recently a grandmother, and I like to consider myself a Los Angelino because I consider Los Angeles home, even though I've lived in Charlotte for 20 years. I love Charlotte, but I am a Los Angelino at heart. What I discovered years ago was that if I let all those labels drop, just let them go, and I don't talk about what I do in the world or where I live or what I had for dinner, or the roles that I play. I am beauty, I am light, and I am trust.
Wow.
Yeah.
I get that. I definitely get that. So, how does the word discord land for you?
Thank you for telling me about that word about 2 minutes before we went on. I had a chance to go to dictionary.com and discover it goes all the way back to the 1200s, Comes from a Latin word that I can't pronounce, discodere or something like that, but we're in smack dab in the middle of it, aren't we? And so it resonates. It really resonates in a big way. It resonates in the big way.
Yeah, I think for me, when I first thought of it, because I felt it first, right? I felt it in my body, and then I was thinking about my time as a singer in choir in high school, and the notes and being off a little, right? And just trying to find my way back to the right note that, the choir director was trying to get me to get to. And I think that's where how this society is showing up for me. It's like, we're just off a little. And I don't know if we're looking to leaders or looking to ourselves to kind of get to the right note or to get back somewhere. And so that's how it feels, but it just shows up as just wrong. Just, that's just it. But it's more than that.
Well, I think the problem with discord of any kind, whether it's social, global, or personal, is that it takes up so much of our time and zaps our energy, particularly creative energy. It zaps our energy. Now, a lot of people can be motivated by anger. The adrenaline starts to pump. People can be motivated by anger and move into action.
Right.
But it's still, I think for me particularly, for a lot of us, it depletes me of energy.
Right.
Yeah, I like finding agreement and harmony. I think navigating our way from discord into harmony
Right.
can be a creative process. That's a growth process.
Right. And so I remember, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention in high school English class, but, Discord was used as just having a conversation. It is just, we're having a Discord. We are just kind of going back and forth. And so it's just no judgment, with no, right or wrong. It is just, we're just putting out words. And I think that's what I've heard, but like I said, but like I said, it feels like there is odds. And do you think it's just mainly just the judgment of the sound or the feeling?
No,
Or is something more than?
I think words carry energy.
Okay.
Words carry energy, and if the word can carry itself, you take the word wife, just the word wife, that carries a lot of energy. It's an ancient word, right?
Right.
And but the intent of the word also carries a lot of energy. So we can use a word like love, right? And have ill intent behind it.
Right.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
If a little boy says to his mom, "Mom, do you love me?" And the mother says, "Well, of course I love you." That carries a lot of energy. The word love carries a lot of energy, not necessarily very loving energy.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's the energy that comes along with it. I'm thinking I'm just having one word conversations. Yeah. I'm having an energy conversation, right?
I personally think we are built. We are who we are is with the intentionality of giving and receiving energy. We're like we're transmitters and receivers. We give and receive energy. Yeah. And as human beings, it comes along with words. But yeah.
Do you think? Wow. Do you think the reason why we have such difficulty in our communication is because we don't understand the energy that is connect within our language? It's just we just think we're just giving words. There's not. There's no attention to the intent or the energy that's coming along with those words that causes us to be disconnected or to have a lot of other things happening other than just an understanding of the words that are used.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it. And then you try to think, where does that energy come from? It comes from, it's an extension of our experience. Yes. We're having, this is a very powerful conversation, a powerful word that you've chosen. We're having conversations about race in our office, race and racism in our office. And we know that the words, as therapists and as human beings, we're trained that words pack a lot of meaning, right? And
Right.
so as we have these conversations, we're looking for loving ways to express ourselves based on our own experience, what we do understand and what we don't understand,
Right.
and trying to have conversations around that. And it feels challenging. It feels uncomfortable, particularly for white people to have these conversations. It can be very challenging because that's not a conversation we typically have had,
Right.
especially amongst ourselves.
Right.
Especially amongst ourselves. So it's a unique experience, and we just stepped into that conversations with intentionality and a great deal of conversation about having the conversation, what we want that to look like. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think, and I appreciate that, because there's a lot of times that I didn't have conversations, race conversations, or the race conversations, because of the energy that came with it, because of
Yes.
the pain, because of the stories. And it's like, you know
Yes.
what, I'm Black, I don't need to talk about my Blackness, right?
Right.
And I just um, I don't want to look at someone and say, hey, because of your race, I am going to connect or disconnect from you, or give meaning to that. And
Right.
so for me, I say that we're going to have challenges with race or racism as long as we have the construct of race.
Yes.
And I don't think that, I currently don't believe that race is going to go away. We're going to lose that from our human experience. But I think we can diminish what we make that mean. We can cause that to not allow each other to not see each other because of our race, or dehumanize each other because of race. And so it's going to take a lot of conversations. It's going to take a different energy, as you say, and it's going to take recognizing the discord that we have around it, and the more that we're able to sit with the disease, right? Disease of that conversation, the more that will able to find harmony, or find ways to really be on the other side of it. Well, that's my hope.
Yeah, that's a big order, isn't it? That's a
Right.
big order. That's a big order. I mean, good. I'm getting to understand Robin DiAngelo's conversations that she's had for 20, maybe 30 years with white people about race and racism, and the discomfort that white people have just sitting in the discomfort about
Right.
having these conversations. It's kind of like, good luck with that.
Right. Right.
But she said that she asked, well, if I sit with you, we come from such different experiences that it makes the conversation richer, right? I've never been a male. I've never been a Black person.
Right.
And our experiences are unique and different. On the other hand, I'm a humanist, right? And as a humanist, I understand that all human beings have certain needs and certain experiences as well.
Right.
So, I think it makes for a very rich conversation, but
Right.
not everybody can sit in the discomfort of having it.
Right. Do you think that's more of a society or cultural practice of not sitting in discomfort, feeling that everything has to be perfect, great, wonderful, all those positive things, instead of the beauty of the mess, the discomfort, this discord?
I don't know. I don't do well in chaos, you know, so I like things to be orderly.
Got it.
I like neat, tidy, but I also understand that everything, I understand entropy, that everything falls apart, that everything has to fall apart so that you can start something new and new growth has to experience death first, right? So we have these messy conversations, and out of it comes understanding. You know, and then something else will come up and we'll have another messy conversation, and out of that comes understanding. And then we'll have another messy conversation. So I think it's a series of messy conversations. If we can just stay in them and stay friends and stay lovers and stay, you know, colleagues through the messy conversations, right? I think the irreparable discord comes when I insist that you have to see things my way, or that our experiences are the same and you're just imagining something, right?
Yeah, there was a conversation that I had probably like a couple weeks ago. The word was afraid. And the my guest Joan, she, you know, really you know, invited me to see being afraid as a gift, right? You know, it was letting us know what's going on. Something's going on. Something's happening, right? You know, something is out of line, or something you need to protect yourself, or something. And I think in some case, the discord is a gift. And the more that we embrace the messiness or the discord of something, it's a gift to cause us to, you know, to redirect or make different choices.
Pay attention.
Yeah, to pay attention, type of thing. And it's like sometimes, you know, as we say, you know, in our culture, and there's memes, right? You know, the magic is beyond our comfort zone. You know, and everybody's like, you know, want to embrace that, but at the same time, everybody wants to be comfortable, right? You know?
Of course. Of course. You know? Nobody wants to walk around with a pebble in their shoe, right? No, nobody wants to walk around with a pebble in their shoe. Absolutely. Yeah, but there are fear or afraidness is a signal, right? But we don't have to stay in it. We can check things out and realize that that's not a snake coming toward me. That's just a stick on the sidewalk, and I'm okay. And so I think a lot of people get stuck in fear, and then can't get out. And I think that can make for a pretty unpleasant time. Yeah. Yeah.
How do we? I guess this is a therapy question, but the question that just came up for me: how do we not stay in our fear or discord, or or things, are in the things that are alerting us, right? It's almost with our emails. I'll just break it down to emails. I remember not too many years ago, I was excited to get an email. Now I ignore the alerts of my email, right? Type of thing. But so there is a point of one being excited that that fear has come, to ignoring that fear has come, to kind of sitting in fear. It's like, so what? How is what is a more manageable way to show up when things show up in my life?
Wow. So if I have an answer and it sounds good, it's just because I'm one step ahead of you. That's just like a half a step ahead of you. It's not like I'm an expert at life or relationship. Every single one of us on this planet we're just brailing our way through. We're just trying to figure this thing out, this thing called
Absolutely.
love. So, but I think, based on my own experience and my belief system, I think that purpose is a biggie. We're all here to release some kind of creative energy. And that creative energy in our culture, today, 20 years from now, we might call it something else, but today we call it purpose. We have a reason for being here and an energy that we're supposed to release in this lifetime.
Right.
And some of us find out, and some people leave the planet and they haven't figured it out yet. So when we're living purposeful lives, we're less afraid. Because we know what we want to do. We know what we want to accomplish. And there's not much that can hold that back.
Right.
The other thing is having an ally, someone by our side. Frequently that's an intimate partner, but not always. Someone by our side that has our back. Soldiers don't go into battle alone. So as we go into life, we want to know, just like a soldier going into battle, that we've got our buddy next to us. We've got and I've got my buddy's back, and my buddy has my back. And so when we're living life on purpose, and we have at least one other person on the planet that we can depend on, I think that makes it a little bit easier.
No, I got that. I really do. I think it is, it took me back to, the choir, as I mentioned before, is that when I was singing the wrong notes, I would look over to the other tenors, right? And go, and then I listen in, and then, okay, yeah, I got it. And it's like what you were saying. It is that recognizing that there are people around you that have your back, that will help you get back in line, and really, and not just like, dude, you're wrong, right? And you just stay wrong all by yourself, right?
Right. Or ask you to leave the room, right?
Or ask you to leave the room. And I think too often that's what's showing up. It feels like that's what's showing up in our society, that we are asking people to just leave the room instead of helping them get in harmony. And so it's like, it's like there is more grace and space to allow each other to find the harmony, to find their purpose, to find the note that is uniquely theirs, so we can show up for each other. Wow. Yeah, so we can embrace the discord, but use that as a way to see what is possible.
Yeah, and there's going to be discord. I mean, life is messy, and relationships are messy, and living your life on purpose and trying to release that energy, the reason you were born to be on this planet. It's a messy creative process.
Right.
But if a human being knows what that is and moves forward, and then when we come home and we've had a bad day, we have somebody to talk to about that, and that person doesn't try to change us.
Right.
They just have your back.
Right.
And it's pretty special. And I think that's where we're going as a culture, into partnerships that do that.
Right.
That do that. People are looking for that.
Yeah, within my coaching and in my life, I have taken on this phrase of an actionable awareness of self. And what it does is it gives me access to stay in motion, right? Stay on my purpose, but still stay in discovery mode, right? So it is not feel like, oh, I got it, because if you talk to me about, 10 years ago, I would have had a totally, I had a totally different awareness of myself. And then as when we first met about 5 or 6 years ago, and I had no awareness of, myself, that it has taken, 5 or so years to kind of be okay with the awareness that I have of myself, so I can stay in action within my relationships and in my work, and for myself. And that is, it took a discord and an alert, right? To say, okay, things are not in harmony around you. You are causing, something. And I could have just stayed mad at that, and disappointed and blamed and shamed, or, moved into partnership to kind of find some harmony. And I was, I guess without saying too much, I was so glad that you were there to help, that journey to kind of maneuver through the mess in it all.
Yes, we all have 5 alarm fires that we have to tend to.
Right. Right.
Sooner or later, life brings us a 5 alarm fire that we have to tend to. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And then of course we have to rise from the ashes. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. We all have them.
Right. Wow. What I think I asked this question already, but I think it's still coming up for me. And it's like, too often, as a society, I think we just will rather let things burn, let it burn down to the ground, and we'll just deal with that later. And that is an option, right? Instead of putting the fire out, you just let it burn, right? Type of thing. But does that prolong or kind of shorten the discord in our life? I don't know.
I don't know. Everybody has their journey, right? Every single one of us has our journey.
Right.
And, forest fires are big. They burn.
Right.
Buildings burn. Human beings, we crash and we burn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. And just recognize
that's where resilience comes
time.
in. Yes, that's where resilience comes in, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love your story on awareness. The stages 10 years ago, 5 years ago, now actionable awareness of self. That shows progress. That shows progression, right? That's amazing. Yeah. I love that.
It's, and, through the tears and the anger and all of the other messiness of, of my humanity, grace showed up, and that's what I really, that is a prayer of mine for not just our society, but for, the human beings within it, that grace will show up for them.
Yes, the universe is always conspiring on our behalf. But it's hard to see it when we're in the 5 alarm fire, right?
Right.
But everything is working on our behalf.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we can talk about this for hours, but it's like, hopefully there's no discord or anything, but it's like, sometimes it's like, so it's whatever life has in store for us, we're ready for it if we choose to be, right? If we
can manage it. Yes, we can manage it. It never brings more than we can manage. Never brings more than we can handle. Yes.
Right. Now, is there anything, I know that we've talked about a lot, but is there anything that's come up within this conversation, or that you want to leave everyone with?
Oh, I'm just so grateful to have this conversation with you, Bill. It was just a pleasure to hear from you. I was very nervous. Even though I knew you would be very kind and gentle, this is a new medium for me, so I was very nervous, and And thank you for giving me the word 2 minutes in advance so I could look it up.
I usually give people a little more time, but
That was
yeah.
fabulous. I really, really, really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and to air these views. There aren't a lot of people we can talk to like this in the world. Everybody's busy. Everybody wants to get where they've got to go. And so this is a very rich and leisurely conversation. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I put up your website so people can reach out to you and
Thank you.
And connect to you and all the work, wonderful work that you're doing for couples and individuals and just and just for the world. The more that we show up as ourselves and
Yes,
do our work, we're changing the world, and just embrace that. And
we
so
are.
I'm just honored to have that. I typically say our goodbyes in the green room. So if you're able to stick around for a moment, we can say goodbyes from there as I end
Yeah.
the show. That would be great.
Thank you. I look forward to it.
Okay, great. Wow. Discord. If we look at Discord as an alert, as a signal of something, not just going wrong, but just something that is occurring, either something that we've caused or has been caused around us, then we can make a different choice. We don't have to stay in that way of being. And I love how Anne said that there are partners, there are people, loved ones that are around that will hold a space for us, and that will get us through that will right us. I hope this conversation has added value, not just to your day, but to your life. And I invite you to reach out to me at IamWilliamBrown.com so we can have a conversation. I have a complimentary coaching session where you can just see if you can be yourself and to live your life. The world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.